Whoa, wait a minute. What the heck is this? What is this nonsense? Hang on a minute. My camera, I tell you what, you cannot. That's more like it. There we go. There's my pretty face. Hi, hello, and how are you doing out there in internet land? My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and welcome in to the Thursday night newsroom. This fun little thing we do pre-weekend where we get together, we talk about the news, we give our views, and we try to make sense out of this crazy thing we call life. WWG1's already chimed in and says, well, first F up of the evening. Look. What do you mean you're sure there's going to be more? I mean, look. This computer back here has a mind of its own, for God's sake. Give me a break. Gee whiz. Can you feel the love already? I don't know what's going on in here. I don't know what the heck is going on in here. I just started the live stream, for heaven's sake. Jeez. Man, a guy comes in, he tries to make an introduction, and what happens? You just get, how's that again? Crazy people. Anyway, hi. My name is Brian Trippett. I am known as the Front Porch Conservative. I am sometimes called the fine fella in the fedora. On occasion, I'm referred to as the chap in the cap. Sometimes I'm called the common man with common sense. But in this moment, above all else, I am your host. We are on Rumble, we are on Twitter, and we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So please, as always, if you would not mind, share the live stream with your friends. Go ahead, hit that like button. Go ahead and leave a comment in chat. Hit the bell for notifications. And let's have some fun tonight. And believe me, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I got a pretty good live stream lined up. Or as Ed Sullivan used to say, we got a really big shoe for you out there. Got a lot of stuff to get into. Oh, goodness. I mean, anybody who says there's nothing to talk about does not know what the heck is going on. It's just absolutely absurd. Totally absurd. And already this thing's trying to pixelate on me. Good grief. Hang on. Okay, let's drop it back. All right, let's see if that makes it a little bit better here. Hopefully it's so. Okay, I think that does. That'll straighten out here momentarily. Looks like it anyway. Well, it's about to. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, slowly but ever so surely. All right, it's gonna make it. All right. Good to have all of you guys here. Let's see who is in the house this evening. Miss Gypsy is here. Mwah! There you go. Robert, we have already heard from, and a fist bump to you, sir. Good evening, lovely Miss Lana. Mwah! Gorgeous thing, you. Let's see. Who else is here in the house? Well, we know WWG1 is over there hanging out. Salty Old Fart has popped in to join him. Good morning, Fedora friends. Yeah, good. He also says, I'm rage vaxxing to protest RFK Jr. is top of the list. I'm game. We're going to get into that hearing today that RFK Jr. was a part of. And, oh, my Lord, was that thing spicy. Woo! TVA says, I'm here, mostly. Well, are you here or are you not here? I'm getting a little bit worried. The wing nuts are starting to come flying apart over there, man. It's getting a little scary. Oh, boy. Oh, man, there's a million and one things to talk about. I tell you the truth. Today has been one of those days for news. As a matter of fact, hang on one second because something popped up just as we were coming on air. And I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but let me find it real fast. Yep. We'll talk about that one straight out of the chute for what it is worth. One moment, please, as I push this one to the front of the line. I also thought I saw something by, who was it tonight? Hang on. TBA is smoking a rock. He'll be back soon. Now, wait a minute. How do you know he's doing that? How do you know he's doing that? That's just a little bit harsh, don't you think? Oh, my word. That's just, oh, my goodness. That's just a little bit harsh, my friend. And what proof do you have, sir? My word. Good grief. I tell you what, this crowd, very harsh on each other. Where's the love, I ask you? Anyway, AH Summertime is here. Well, good evening, AH. We're glad to have you out here in the audience. Good to see you. Oh, my goodness. All right, yeah, there's some late breaking that kind of happened just as I was putting everything to bed. Honey. Did he sure do that? We got clips of the whole daggone thing. If you need some entertainment and you need to watch some pompous people be put in their place, just get ready. This is going to get good. Real good. Anyway, some late breaking came on the air just as I was just putting everything to bed. From Chuck Callisto on Twitter, breaking report, Trump administration extends National Guard deployment on D.C. streets until November 30. Now, I tell you what, this I don't have a problem with. I really don't. Good evening, Miss Gypsy. Mwah. You wonderful thing, you. This I don't necessarily have a problem with. It's like I said, it's the nation's capital, which happens to be inside a metropolitan area. A metropolitan area, by the way, created by the Congress. So I don't necessarily have a problem with this going on to secure the streets. It's when you start getting it outside of D.C., it starts getting constitutionally shaky for my purposes. But apparently it looks like they're going to extend the National Guard deployment in D.C. until November 30. I don't think that's that bad of an idea. I really don't. That's going to give the D.C. police enough time to figure out when and where they've got to deploy their people to keep things under control. Hopefully it stays that way. We also have, by way of some late breaking, and I'm sure you guys have already heard about this from various places, from thehill.com, and this actually happened on Friday, but it's just now out there in the press. The Defense Department is going back to its original name. Trump signs executive order renaming Department of Defense to Department of War. Article by Brett Samuels. We've got the following. President Trump is scheduled to sign an executive order on Friday, formally renaming the Department of Defense. I misspoke. I thought it was last Friday he did this. That was going to be tomorrow. My bad. Is scheduled to sign an executive order on Friday, formally renaming the Department of Defense the Department of War, the White House has confirmed. Trump said in recent days he signaled the change was coming, pointing to the history behind the name and his belief that it better reflected the Pentagon's offensive operations. Fox first reported that Trump would sign an executive order on Friday to alter the name in order to, The order will also change the title of Secretary of Defense to Secretary of War. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posts the new moniker on Twitter Thursday night. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And actually, if you'll think back in history, when the country was first founded, that is what our military apparatus was known as. It was not known as the Department of Defense. It was known as the Department of War. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, it was General Henry Knox, who was George Washington's first Secretary of War. So we're getting back to our roots, folks. Zippy's in the house. Good evening, Zippy, you son of a gun. I am here for the kibble and the bits. Well, I've got news, and I got laughs. I don't know about kibbles and bits, so you might have to take that up with somebody else. But, we'll do what we can to help you out, my friend. We'll do what we can to help you out. All right. Speaking of news and funnies and things to help you laugh, we have just an absolute slew, and I mean a slew, of memes tonight. I've got to thank our favorite crazy Canadian Adam. I got to thank WWG1. I got to thank other people. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I got quite a few memes, and they'll be interspersed throughout the live stream. So, but a lot of them are going to be front loaded. And the other night, WWG1 dropped a meme that has sparked a really, really big discussion among audience members about what is the purpose of a person who acquires a meme. Are they stealing it? Are they borrowing it? And if they are borrowing or stealing, I mean, how big a priority should they put on it? In other words, are you just doing it for the fun, or are you doing it for the moral imperative? Well, WWG1, always a man to be heard from in matters of things like this, has a response to all these people out there who say, hey, memes aren't that important. His response is very simple. It is your duty to steal memes. Not that it's okay, not that you could do it on occasion. No, ladies and gentlemen, it is your duty to steal a meme whenever you get a chance. Salty Old Fart over on Rumble says, stealing memes is doing God's work. Well, you know what, Salty? You may be onto something, sir. Truly, truly, you may be onto something. I don't know. But WWG1 has spoken on this matter, and he is very well convinced. It is everyone's duty to steal a meme. So there you go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. Good. Yeah. It's amazing the things that will spark a debate on this live stream. Just truly crazy. Truly crazy. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot about this. Did you guys hear the news that U.S. Senator Cory Booker is engaged to be married? Oh, wait a minute. Before I get to that, Z Highness, you gorgeous thing, you. Mwah. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Zippy says, stealing IP is doing God's work. The rate that they are destroying IP, they won't have anything left to take, LOL. Well, you ain't wrong about that, my friend. Not wrong about that. Did you hear that Cory Booker is engaged to be married? Yeah. Apparently, this news broke, I guess, may have been yesterday. We got a story here from NewJersey.com. Cory Booker is getting married. Who is the bride to be? And they got an article here by Matthew Inuko. U.S. Senator Cory Booker announced his engagement on Instagram. I'm thrilled to share Alexis and I are engaged. Booker's fiance is Alexis Lewis, an employee at a real estate investment firm, according to an aide. Well, look, I know that these days are highly partisan and filled with all kinds of meanness and nasty. But in all sincerity, to Cory Booker, if you happen to see this live stream, sir, congratulations. I'm serious. I'm very happy for you. Look, good for you. And you know what? They're talking about that Instagram post that he put out there. And apparently it was quite dramatic, the announcement that he made. I don't know if we got it here, actually. So maybe for those of you who did not see this, I've got a copy of Cory Booker's Instagram video where he announced the engagement. And like I say, it's pretty dramatic. So for those of you who have not seen it yet, ladies and gentlemen, here you go.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman. Now listen.
That's daggone. I give Cory Booker a lot of credit. You got the brothers hanging out there with you. You got a band in the background. You got a drummer. He's hopping around on one foot. Oh my God, this is something to behold. Oh my word. Congratulations to Cory Booker, and we're very happy to know he's not gay anymore. He loves women. That great, fantastic. What do you mean seems legit? Sure. I mean, Lana, surely you're not saying that a politician would lie about something like this, would you? I'm shocked. Totally shocked. TVA says, did I miss the meme section? No, you haven't missed the meme section. You're not at all, sir. We're just rolling right into it. Oh, mercy. Mercy me. Anyway, congratulations to U.S. Senator Cory Booker and his bride-to-be. And we are very happy also to report he's not gay anymore. So, good times. WWG1 says, if you were never gay but pretended to be so and then switched back, would you be gay? Ooh, that's a very deep philosophical question, sir. I will repeat that for the audience. If you were never gay but pretended to be so, and then you switched back, would you indeed be gay? Things to consider. All right. What else do we have in the way of news or memes or whatever the heck it is we do this thing? Well, speaking of marriage, and I'm sure that Cory Booker is going to find this out, okay? And you gentlemen out in the audience who are married, I'm sure that you can speak to this one too. There are so many blessings to marriage. I mean, there's things you find out about your spouse after you've married them. I mean, it's a constant learning process and constantly full of surprises. I mean, for example, you could be like this guy who's proud to say that his wife really spoils him. He married her for the personality and she threw in 5 more for free. And when those good moments come along, when he gets really lucky, he gets to experience all of those personalities all in one day. I mean, who knew that marriage could give you quite so much? It's really kind of amazing. So yeah, for you married gentlemen out there, come on, admit it. It's moments like what this guy is describing right here. This is part of the reason why you guys are still married. TBA says, my old ball and chain is in the other room. Speak quietly. I will, sir. I'll tell you what, I will be respectful. TBA also says, wives only have 5 personalities. I think mine was gifted with many, many more than that. Oh my God. Oh, now WWG1, that's not even nice. WWG1 says, marry a redhead, you'll get 17 personalities. Sir, I happen to know your beloved, and let me tell you something. If you survive this with a scalp full of hair by the time she's done with you, I'll be shocked. And by the way, make that kind of comment and you'll have it coming. Could be a rough time in the old WWG1 household tonight. That's all I'm saying. Anyway. All right. What else do we have out here? What other pearls of wisdom do we have to drop? Oh, good news, ladies and gentlemen. Coming out of California, of all places. Much has been made about California's experiment with a high-speed rail. And you know what? And there's been a lot of criticism of how California, regardless of whose administration, not Pat Brown, Jerry Brown, Gavin Newsom, and others before them have handled California's rollout of high-speed rail. But it looks like that progress is being made. Matter of fact, there was a newspaper article today with pictures of the new high-speed rail coming out of California. And I tell you what, this is something to see. Hang on here just a second. And this picture was just in the newspapers today. This is an example of what California's high-speed rail is going to look like. Folks, I tell you what, you've got to love the blessings of technology. Gotta love the blessings of technology. So, yeah. There you go. I'm looking forward, and honestly, next time I'm out in California, I'm looking forward to trying California's high-speed rail, because I tell you what, this thing looks like it can really motor. Let me tell you now, really, really motor. Something else. Oh my goodness! Hello. Look, well, what have we here? The Pit Crew has become a YouTube member. Well, good evening, Pit Crew. Glad to have you. Welcome to the Electronic Front Porch. Welcome to Fedora Nation. We's glad to have you. Hope you stick around for a while. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Subscribe on Rumble. And yeah, thank you for that. That's greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Goodness me. Does it actually go? Well, yes, it goes somewhere. Rust pile, maybe, but it does go somewhere. I mean, you know. Oh, goodness me. Zippy over on Rumble says he needs to shave now. Who needs to shave now? Oh, you're talking about WWG1. Well, yeah, he might not have much. Yeah. Yeah. California high-speed rail. It goes 50 feet in a decade. Look, it's little bits of progress at a time. No, this live stream is not going off the rails. Their high-speed rail project in California might be, but, you know, we'll see what happens. Anyway. Oh, goodness! I know who these people are! Oh, my gosh! The Pit Crew. Oh, that's fantastic! Folks, these are some wonderful friends of mine in Cincinnati. And they watch the live stream on a regular basis, and a tip of the fedora to all of you. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. And Lisa, Beggy and Bob. Beggy and Bob. Peggy and Bob, if I can talk right. Yeah, I really do a live stream on a regular basis. Anyway, thank you guys so much for that. That is so sweet of you. Oh, we love you too. Mwah, and fist bumps all the way around. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that. Oh my goodness. TBA says, the old Cincinnati gang is on YouTube now. Yeah, there you go. Beggy, yeah. Well, okay, hang on a minute. TBA picked up on my Beggy and Bob expression. And let me explain this for those of you out in the audience that don't know what this is about. This is kind of an inside joke between myself and the lady. We were talking one afternoon. I forget when it was. It was probably a couple, 3 months ago. And as I am prone to do it, as you are prone to do it, as the lady is prone to do it, you want to say something, your brain inverts some letters, and what intended to be Bob and Peggy came out Bob and Beggy. So I thought it was cute, and we've just sort of kept it as a running joke ever since. TBA says, is the lady part of the Pit Crew? Apparently so. Well, the lady is part of many different social organizations on social media, sir. So you just never know when the lady's going to show up. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Robert! Oh, for heaven's sake. No! There's going to be no pegging going on among the Pit Crew. You're awful, sir. Goodness me. That is so untoward to the Pit Crew. I do apologize for my audience. You never know what they're going to say. They're just awful. Awful, I tell you. Anyway. And yes, indeed. Indeed. All right. What else do we have in the way of the merry memes this evening? Goodness me. We've got some, this time of year, and it really started a little while ago. Kids are going back to school, and if they haven't done it yet, they're gonna get dressed up for their, school year picture. Okay. Doesn't matter what grade they're in. They're gonna take their school photo. And it's a very proud time for parents, obviously. I mean, you see your kids growing up, you see all kinds of neat things happening. And you know what? It's good for everybody, including those parents of child refugees. I mean, refugee children, they're important too. So, their school pics, they're going to be something else. So, if you see young men dressed like this, or young ladies, dressed like this, you know, child refugees are children too. They want to have a good picture taken. So be on the lookout for kids like this in neighborhoods just like yours. To which everybody in my audience just went, things that make you go, well, yeah, I can understand why. Anyway, well, we do have some from news from the big cities, and there's certain old school wisdom that applies in most every situation. I mean, you've heard the old expression about, if you hold a seashell close to your ear, you can hear the sound of the ocean. Well, when it comes to, say, for example, a major metropolitan city, if you hold something that is recognizable as a symbol of that city close to your ear, you can hear other things too. For example, if you take a slice of Chicago pizza and hold it to your ear, you can hear the sound of faint gunfire. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next time that you are at a pizzeria and you order Chicago-style pizza, just hold a piece of it up to your ear, and there's odds are that you're going to hear the pop, 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 pop. Yeah, you're going to hear that faint sound of gunfire coming off of your pepperoni. The things you didn't know until you started listening to this channel. Goodness me. Yeah, so remember, that Chicago style, that slice of pizza, that Chicago style slice of pizza is more than just nourishment to your body. It's a reminder about what goes on in the world. Now, in all honesty, though, Chicago is getting something of an unfair rap. I mean, look, they're doing their best out there. They're trying real hard, and actually, I don't know that we really need to send, National Guard into Chicago. I mean, actually, the mayor recently made a proclamation about how things are going out there. I mean, look at this guy's face. When he tells you that Chicago is safe and everyone is having lots of fun, look at that man's face. Would you not believe him? I mean, honestly, I would. I mean, that man looks like he's totally telling the truth about how safe things are in the Windy City. So, folks, if you're still trying to figure out what to do for a late fall vacation, listen, there's nothing like Lake Michigan in the fall. There's nothing like cruising the Magnificent Mile. Hey, and we're almost up to NBA season. You might catch a Bulls game. So, there you go. There you go. Because after all, when the politicians tell us that Chicago is safe, we really do believe it. All right. One more meme, and then we'll jump into our stories for the night. No, actually two more. I stand corrected. Everybody is going on about this character, Zohan Mamdani, up in New York City, and nobody can get a beat on the guy. Everybody is trying to figure out, what kind of argument can we make to the voters of New York City why it is that you should not vote for this guy. I mean, yeah, Andrew Cuomo is not exactly the best option for a mayor, but then again, he's not Mamdani, okay? Everybody's trying to figure out a reason why you should not vote for Zohan Mamdani. Well, somebody came up with a pretty good argument, and it goes like this. As a matter of fact, they don't just have one reason why you shouldn't vote for the guy. They've got 2,296 reasons why you should not elect this guy as mayor of New York City. And this is one of those moments as your host when you just look at it and say, I'm not saying, but, ladies and gentlemen, as your host, I'm just saying. There you go. There you go. And although it's a little bit early to start thinking about it, Pete Buttigieg is out there making noise out there in the hinterland. As a matter of fact, he made a very interesting brag recently in an appearance somewhere. He made the statement that he has a chance to make history. No, he really did. He made the statement that he's got a chance to make history if the election in 2028 were to go his way. As a matter of fact, I think his quote went something like, well, no, actually, no, I take that back. He did say something, and I almost forgot. Somebody got mad at him for it, okay? I think his comment was something along the lines of, he's got a chance to be the first gay United States president, and somebody really objected hard to that. I don't know. There might be an argument about to break out between these two over that contention on the part of Buttigieg. So take it for what it's worth, folks. Take it for what it's worth. Oh, my. Like I said, lots to talk about tonight. Oh, God. Yeah. We're awful. We are just awful. Anyway, I want to thank WWG1. I want to thank Adam. I want to thank everybody who's contributed to the Merry Memes tonight. As I say, folks, if you find a meme that you think is funny and you want to throw it my way, tag me on Twitter with it, and, we'll take a look. Of course, the host reserves the right to use or not use all material presented to him, but hey, take your best shot. I'm all for trying to have fun. All right, speaking of having fun, somebody had a load of it today, although he might not argue he was having fun. But have you guys noticed, and this gets to our first topic of the night, have you guys noticed in the past, let's call it really 3 or 4 weeks, the step up in the public pressure campaign to get Robert Kennedy Jr. out at Department of Health and Human Services? My Lord, I have never seen anything quite like this. Man, people are like writing letters. They're like saying, just screaming to the top, and not just from the usual suspects, by the way. You would think that some of this would just come exclusively from people on the left. Oh, no. You got people on the right going after him. But to get us started, I got a story here from Axios.com. Headline: more than 1,000 HHS workers demand RFK Jr.'s resignation in a new letter. Article by Maya Goldman and Avery Lotz. We have the following. Dateline, Washington, D.C. More than 1,000 current and former federal health workers called for Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s resignation on Wednesday, warning he, quote, continues to endanger the nation's health. The demand is the latest evidence of a growing revolt against Kennedy, whose tenure has coincided with upheaval in the department, and a department that oversees the federal government's vast public health infrastructure. Kennedy ousted Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director Susan Moneres late last month. 4 senior leaders at the agency resigned in protest of his leadership around the same time. He has since installed Silicon Valley investor Jim O'Neill, who has advocated for unproven COVID treatments, as acting CDC director. All right, let's talk about this for a second before we start going any further. I have a question for you, my audience. Is this what you voted for? I did. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, okay, I expected Kennedy to go in, shake things up, and actually start trying to clean house. I have no problem with this. None whatsoever. Exactly. We all voted for this. We voted for Trump on the hope that he would put somebody like RFK Jr. in at HHS to absolutely do something to shake things up, and not just shake them up for the sake of shaking them up, but to shake them up, hopefully that we get better. And we've got a lot of reason to want to try to get better. I've got a clip here before we go any further into this. Let me find it real fast. But when I heard these stats, man, this just broke your heart and made me cry. If you're wondering why it is we'd like for RFK Jr. to shake things up over at HHS and actually, hopefully turn the country around and make things better, or at least move us in a better direction, I got a clip here. The current, health bureaucracy, I guess, thinks they're doing a great job and have been doing a great job for the past 20, 30, 40 years. Folks, I want you to listen to this because this is absolutely going to make your blood boil.
Senator, this morning I got the latest numbers from CDC that 76.4% of Americans now have a chronic disease. This is stunning. When my uncle was president, it was 11%. 1950, it was 3%. Today, it's 76.4%. 8 out of 10 of our kids cannot qualify for military service. This is a national security issue. When my uncle was president, we spent zero on chronic disease. Today, we spend $1.3 trillion. It's the biggest cause. It's increasing. And all of the arguments that Republicans and Democrats have about single payer, Obamacare, or the various ways of allocate the health dollars, they're all like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. If we don't end this chronic disease, we are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at the CDC. They did not do their job. This was their job to keep us healthy.
Thank you.
And I need to fire some of those people to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Thank you.
Wow. Did you guys hear some of that? That to me is just stunning on so many levels. Matter of fact, you know what? Hang on a minute. If ever you get into an argument with friends of yours about why it is we need to shake things up over at HHS, I'm going to drop this clip into chat on both sides for you guys. We're now spending, if he's right, $1.3 trillion a year on chronic disease prevention. 50, 60 years ago, we were spending almost nothing. Nothing. TBA says, fire them all and recruit better ones. You're not getting any disagreement from me, my friend. None whatsoever. WWG1 says, I voted for a lot of firings. Absolutely, I did. Hang on, y'all. It's slowly starting to happen. But I mean, of course, the health bureaucracy is going to fight back against us. And not just fight back. They're going to fight back. They're going to lie. They're going to say, oh, there's nothing wrong with America. I don't see why I love the comment that I hear all the time. He's destroying the gold standard of healthcare provision in the world. Really? Really? Let's go through that again, folks. Let's go through that again. I will play this for you. I want you to listen to what he says. Check this out.
Senator, this morning I got the latest numbers from CDC that 76.4% of Americans now have a chronic disease.
3/4 of the American population, according to the CDC, has a chronic disease. Let me say that again. 3/4 of the American population has a chronic disease, according to our own government. Let's continue.
This is stunning. When my uncle was president, it was 11%. 1950, it was 3%. Today, it's 76.4%. 8 out of 10 of our kids cannot qualify for military service.
20 or let's flip that around. Only 20% of military age kids have the ability to physically qualify to defend the country. Let me say that again. Only 20% of military age kids could qualify to defend this nation in a time of war. Let's continue.
The national security issue. When my uncle was president, we spent zero on chronic disease. Today, we spend $1.3 trillion. It's the biggest cause. It's increasing. And all of the arguments that Republicans and Democrats have about single payer, Obamacare, or the various ways of allocate the health dollars, they're all like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic.
Think about it, folks. $1.3 trillion we're spending on chronic disease. Yeah. And that's the worst part about it. We're doing this to ourselves on purpose. The things we put in the water, the things we put in food, the things that we are doing, we're doing this to ourselves, and we're doing it on purpose. Salty Old Fart over on Rumble says food is only a part of it. They are lazy AF nowadays. Okay, I'll give you that. I will give you that. Different lifestyle, different times. I don't disagree with that at all. But what we eat and what we drink and what's being put into what we eat and what we drink is contributing mightily to how we are now. And this is an absolutely great point. The 1.3 trillion is not being spent on prevention. It's being spent on treatments after the disease has taken effect. Think about that for a minute. Yeah, I heard that and I was like, oh my God. Unbelievable. But yeah, you got people coming out against RFK Jr. You've got them coming from the left, and now you've got them coming from the right. I got a quote here from some of you. Am I surprised necessarily? No, I'm not. But, it is kind of sad. They asked John Kennedy, a Republican in Louisiana, the other day, his thoughts on RFK Jr. Folks, check this out.
We need to restore that confidence. And so far, I don't see where Secretary Kennedy has done that. All I see over there is, at the moment, is a multiple vehicle pileup. I'm not saying that Secretary Kennedy is wrong or right. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not qualified to say. I'm just saying that, when I met with Bobby in my office, I told him, I said, your job number one is to restore the confidence of the American people in the institution of public health in America. And so far, he hasn't done that.
Yeah, so that sets up the hearing that Bobby Kennedy went into today. Oh, I'm like you guys. I like John Kennedy too. I was rather shocked when I heard this. And to be fair, I don't necessarily think that John Kennedy's criticism is all that harsh. I think he's discussing more how the perception of how it looks of what's going on over there. Zippy over on Rumble says, better diagnosis is half of it, but do not forget, Teflon destroyed tens of millions of lives. It's in the groundwater everywhere. Good point. It's really kind of sad. Now, that sets up a lot of what you're going to see next. Robert Kennedy, as all cabinet secretaries are prone to do, has to go testify before Congress. Okay? And some of the information he was laying down, oh my gosh. This stuff is like, this one that I heard today, I mean, it wasn't necessarily a statistic, but when he revealed this, you start to wonder why folks like me and you and others out there have such skepticism and such cause for concern where a governmental institution like the Department of Health and Human Services is concerned. I got to play this for you. And like I say, this one's going to blow your mind. Folks, check this out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you one example, and I could sit here and give you thousands. But in 2002, CDC did an internal study of Atlanta and Fulton County, Georgia children, and looked at children who got the MMR vaccine on time and compared those to kids who got them later. So in other words, kids who got them before 36 months and kids who got them afterward. The data from that study showed that Black boys who got the vaccine on time had a 260% greater chance of getting an autism diagnosis than children who waited. The chief scientist on that, Dr. William Thompson, the senior vaccine safety science at CDC, was ordered to come into a room with 4 other co-authors by his boss, Frank DeStefano, who's the head of the immunization safety branch, and ordered to destroy that data. And then they published it without that fact.
Do you folks catch that? They have a study that comes out. Study shows that if a certain injection is given to African American children, particularly African American boys, before 36 months, there is a greater chance that they're going to have autism. Perfectly valid study. Is ordered into a room and told destroy it. Now, if what Bobby Kennedy Jr. is saying is true, that is absolutely scandalous. Absolutely scandalous. That right there ought to cause some heads to roll and people to go to jail. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But it's stuff like that that makes people like me and others out there, and you guys too, to a large extent, cheer what Bobby Kennedy's doing. Clean house, brother. Go on and do it. Restore this organization back to its original functions of trying to actually keep us safe in terms of the things we eat, the things we drink, the kind of medicines we take, whether we should even be taking those medicines. Go on, brother. Clean house. Go for it. If that, what you just said, is any indication of how bad things have been at the Department of Health and Human Services for the past 20, 30, 40 years, by all means, brother, hat tip in your direction. Clean house. Go for it. Go for it. Now, a congressional hearing is supposed to be any number of different things. Okay? It is supposed to be any number of different things. It's supposed to be a place where elected officials question cabinet members, sub-cabinet members, directors, executives, trying to obtain information, guard the taxpayer dollar, etc., and so on. This was anything but that, and it kind of leads me to a meme that WWG1 shared tonight, and it's this: never ever ask the question, how dumb can a liberal be? Because frankly, at this point, some of them are taking it up as a challenge. Now, you might say, oh, come on, Front Porch, what does this have to do with the congressional hearing that Bobby Kennedy Jr. was in today? Well, if you want to see examples of how dumb a liberal politician can be, oh, just get ready. Just get ready, because you're about to get example after example after example after example. Because everybody lined up to take a shot at the champ. For example, and I'm not going to, I mean, there are so many of them I could play for you, but my gosh, it's just extraordinary. Zippy with a Rumble rant. Thank you very much, sir. Remember how statistics work. If they got the vaccine early, it means their parents are aware. Thus, it means they are more likely to get further diagnosed for further subsidized mental illness. Interesting point. Interesting point. Yeah, I got all kinds of examples of senators being dumb. But I want to start off. I want to start off with a couple of just great ones. These are just awesome. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat from Massachusetts, who we affectionately here on the Electronic Front Porch refer to as Liawatha. Oh, Liawatha just could not help herself today. She was asking for it, and boy, did she get it with both barrels. Give me 1 second here, folks. I think I've got the one pulled up I want. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is it. Folks, you know what? I'm not even going to try and set it up. Just watch.
You are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going
and
like this.
That is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
No, I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said,
and I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy,
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary,
you want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access.
It depends on the states.
A year ago,
but they can still get it. Everybody can get it. Everybody can get it, Senator.
So look, let's move on. You clearly are taking away vaccines. I've seen the list for what's coming up next. And
yeah, this is a good example of what went on today. A lot of people trying to score political points. And as far as I'm concerned, they took their best shots at the champ. I don't think they landed a glove on the guy. Hey, Rhonda. My cat loves footage of women being deranged. She is now in her happy place. Well, you know, Rhonda, I have said for the longest time there are many reasons why people should watch this live stream. And you know what, daggone it, if we can help your cats feel better about their 9 lives, then by all means, we will show you footage of deranged women like her all the time. And you know what? Thank you for that letting me know. I will try to make it a point going forward to find as much footage and clips of deranged women as I can. Oh, yeah, she got roasted. She got absolutely roasted. And that's part of what makes me so mad about these hearings. You on one side, and again, I am not saying at all that Bobby Kennedy Jr. is perfect. Okay? As a matter of fact, I expect people to disagree with him. Do I agree with him on everything? Of course not. Do you agree with him on everything? Probably not if the truth came down to it. Okay? But, I expect people to disagree with him, and I expect people to not, subscribe to every proclamation that he makes. Reasonable people can disagree. But what gets me about these hearings is you've got a bunch of people up there, Democrats and Republicans, okay, taking money from pharmaceutical companies left and right. For example, Elizabeth Warren, $855,000, and then proceeding to lecture Bobby Kennedy about what he is and is not doing. And all the guy wants to do is improve the health of the average American person. Well, that's true, Courtney. That is true, dear. That is true. I don't know if you are in New York for Chrissy Mayer's Content Hotel, but I really hope you are, because, darling, you would be a wonderful addition. And crossing my fingers, hoping you're there. And by the way, this lovely young lady, if you're not following her channel for the laughs and the fun and just the genuine goodness of the kind of girl she is, by all means, give this girl a sub. Help her grow that channel that she's got, and let's make it happen, because she's one of the good ones. She's one of the genuinely good people out there on social media. So, now I wish you were, darling. But yeah, give Courtney Brooke a follow on social media, on all her channels, wherever she may be. But yeah, you got these hypocritical pieces of crap, okay, lecturing the guy who's trying. And again, you can disagree with him if you want to, okay? You can disagree with Bobby Kennedy if you want to, but he's trying his dead level best to reform an organization whose job has absolutely not been done for the past 30 or 40 years. To the point, we're now spending $1.3 trillion on chronic disease. And 20% of our military-age kids, only 20% of our military-age kids could qualify to defend the country. The other 80%, because they're so unhealthy, could never get into our country's uniform and serve to defend. And Liawatha wasn't the only one who, felt like showing herself. I'll play you three more of these. This one's really good. This is an exchange, and I won't play all of it necessarily, but this is an exchange between Tina Smith, the retiring senator from Minnesota, and Bobby Kennedy Jr. Folks, strap in, because it's about to get good.
What you have said has contradicted yourself and others. It's, I don't even know where to start.
No, I don't even know
So
where
I'm going to start here. Over the last 8 months, you have claimed to make America healthy again. But in actual fact, you have led the charge in the Trump administration to destroy what is best in our healthcare system. And your denials and your evasion and your lies here do not change that.
Okay, hold on a minute. Senator Smith, I have a question for you. Since you're going to defend the status quo, exactly what is best about the American healthcare system right now? Okay? Seriously, what exactly is best about the American healthcare system right now? I mean, you seem to think everything's hunky-dory. You seem to think everything's wonderful. I'd just like for you to tell me, what is it that you think is so wonderful about our current healthcare system? I'm waiting. But okay, let's see what else you've got to say, because you got your potential for 5 minutes of fame here. Go for it, sister.
You are the Secretary of the Health and Human Services.
Well, at least she's cognitive enough to know that.
Yet you're trafficking in these fringe idea and discredited theories that are completely out of step with the scientific consensus. And you.
Whose scientific consensus? The scientists at the CDC and other places that are telling us that, certain medications and vaccines are perfectly safe and there's nothing wrong with them and we're not told about the side effects. Are we talking about those folks in the scientific community, Senator? Oh, please do go on.
Seem to be willing to say anything in the moment, even if it's untrue. So last time you were before Congress, Secretary Kennedy, you claimed, and I quote, "I have never been anti-vax. I have never told the public to avoid a vaccination." But in a podcast, you said the opposite. You said there's no vaccine that is safe and effective. So that sure sounds anti-vax to me, Secretary Kennedy. So let me ask you, when were you lying, sir? When you told this committee that you were not anti-vax, or when you told Americans that there's no safe and effective vaccine?
Both things are true.
Oh, so more denial, more back and forth. I mean, here's what I know. Here's what I know.
Let me explain why, Senator. You just
No, actually, I want you to listen to me.
Okay, go ahead.
I want you to listen to me because I've been listening to you. You said that ACIP is an independent panel after you stocked it with your picks. You said that you want evidence-based science, but it seems that what you mean is evidence that supports your view, not the scientific consensus. I mean, you dared to sit there and call my colleague from New Hampshire a liar when she presented you with facts that don't support your view of the world. It's incredible. But let me move on. Just last week, in the days after the tragic shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in my home state of Minnesota, you went on Fox News blaming school shootings on antidepressants. You have no evidence of that because you have no.
That is a damned blatant lie. I'm sorry. That is a blatant lie. The only thing Bobby Kennedy said, and I'll let him defend himself on this, the only thing he said is that CDC and HHS would be willing to investigate it. But okay, go ahead, lady.
Evidence of a connection. And you want to talk about.
You're just saying something. You're just making stuff up.
You know, this is what you say, right? Secretary Kennedy, when someone presents you with information that does not fit.
I did not blame that shooting. I have no idea whether. I have no idea, and I never said that. You're making it up. You're twisting. Yeah, you are.
Secretary
you are being
Kennedy,
dishonest right
now. If you
now.
want to talk about mental health and gun violence in this country, we should be talking about that because that's what the parents of Annunciation School.
You don't want to talk. You want to harangue, and you want to politically. You want to have partisan politics. I want to actually solve these problems.
Secretary, what you have.
And on and on and on this went. Oh, totally. Totally. They are pointless. Honestly, if it were not for the fact that the Congress controls the appropriations, Gypsy, if I were Trump, I wouldn't let even his cabinet secretaries go up there anymore. I really wouldn't. As a matter of fact, I've got a suggestion for the Trump administration for what it's worth. Just go out on social media. Start going. Establish your own YouTube and Rumble channels. Just bypass these people in Congress. This is absurd. All they're going to do is just sit there, lie, twist, obfuscate, take out of context, make false arguments. I mean, just it's absurd. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The science. Whose science? WWG1 says, I way lying when I said, oh, no. Kennedy looks very comfortable. He looks like he's in a lowrider cruising the strip. He looks very unconcerned. Exactly. Donald Trump is not going to get rid of Bobby Kennedy. And as far as I'm concerned, keep on going, brother. You're there. You're in the midst of it. Go. Keep on going. Oh, so now your cat is relaxed. Well, again, we are here to serve. I mean, I could keep on playing example after example after example of this. I really don't want to do it to you. I mean, I find it sad, twisted, and funny that this is all the Democrats have got. This is all they've got. It is incredible to me. Absolutely incredible. But at the end of the day, there were people backing up Bobby Kennedy, and I got to show you this. This is a tweet from J.D. Vance. And I tell you what, more and more I am really liking Vance. When I see all these senators trying to lecture and gotcha Bobby Kennedy today, all I can think is this. You all support off-label, untested, and irreversible hormone therapies for children, mutilating our kids, and enriching Big Pharma. You're full of shit, and everyone knows it. J.D. Vance said it better than almost anybody I could think of. Almost anybody, with one exception. From the War Room today with Steve Bannon. Like I said, the past 3 or 4 weeks, everybody is noticing it. There's a constant ramping up of pressure to try to get this guy out. I got bad news. He ain't going anywhere. But you know what? And there's a reason why he's not going anywhere. From the inestimable Steve Bannon, we've got the following. Check this out.
You're seeing this on Capitol Hill right now play out in real time. The great powers of the oligarchs that that run healthcare in this country. Big pharma, big medical, the big insurance companies. This is the finance committee. I'll keep that in mind. This is the finance committee. They really have the overall. That was the first committee that Bobby Kennedy went to for his in his confirmation here. Remember, we played the confirmation hearings. Just harken back to that because they're going to throw that up in his face every day about how he changed these committees. And Dr. Malone, runs this, was it ASIP right now? And they said, oh, you promised you wouldn't change it. And you've changed it and gotten all the hacks off it and put other people on it. And firing a CDC. Bobby Kennedy came out at the beginning breathing fire. And what did he say? Hey, America, the stats are off the charts. We've been getting sicker every year. CDC's in charge of that. Those 4 people had to go, and he fired them, as he has the ability to do. And he fired the head of CDC also. You're seeing that.
Yeah. And these are things that need to happen. These are things that absolutely need to happen. Oh, yeah. J.D. Vance summed it up very well. Very, very well. We voted for this, folks. And I don't think anybody in this audience is backing off of Bobby Kennedy, but I'll say this. For anybody out there that happens to hear the sound of my voice and you're like, he's getting rid of this guy, he's firing that person, he's letting go these people. Yeah. Ask yourself this question. If we let the status quo at the Department of Health and Human Services stay in place as it is right now, without firing one single person, do you think that we're going to be any healthier tomorrow? Or let me rephrase that. Do you think we even have the chance to be any healthier tomorrow? I mean, if you listen to the Democrats and other people, oh, he's destroying the gold standard of healthcare in the world. Really? A gold standard that's costing us $1.3 trillion a year treating chronic disease, where only 20% of our kids could actually wear the country's uniform and defend us because the other 80% are so unhealthy. Where 3/4 of our population, regardless of age, has a chronic health problem. Do you think if we keep it in place, it's going to get better? No. If we're even having any hope of turning this thing around, you got to have somebody like a Bobby Kennedy go in and be a disruptor. You got to have somebody, and not just for the purpose of just shaking things up to shake things up. No, you're putting people in to try to get the organization back on a track where it's doing what it was supposed to do from the start. Pays an incentive to pediatricians to keep vaccinating. It's about the money and not health. It's why doctors remove patients from their practice if they don't chat. Wow. Yeah, and I know everybody in this audience has a horror story or some form of a story related to healthcare in this country. Ask yourself, look, am I telling you that Bobby Kennedy is going to be able to fix everything and wave the magic wand and make everything better? No, he's one man. But get a bunch of one men just like him and one woman just like him, and maybe, just maybe, we can start doing some good here. And yeah, there's going to be a fight, and the fight's on right now. You've got insurance companies, the pharmaceutical industry, the healthcare bureaucracy, all lining up against this guy. And all I can say is go, Bobby, go. Do not let up. Don't quit. Don't you dare quit. Don't you dare quit. True enough. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the hearing today. So I tell you what, let's do something a little bit lighter. Switch gears just a little bit. And I mentioned do you guys remember me mentioning the other night about the renovations of the White House that Trump is engaging in? Well, folks, I'm not trying to let's see, pour cold water on Trump's efforts, but there's some weird stuff that's starting to happen. Zippy with a Rumble rant says, intellectual property rights is sadly the vehicle that controls the market via investment regulation. If you speak out, you will get hit with the DMCA takedowns. Thank you very much for that, sir. Appreciate it. There's something weird going on at the White House. I mean, more so than normal. As a matter of fact, there's some very troubling video that's coming out. Well, we got our hands on it. Some very troubling video that's coming out related to these White House renovations that Trump's doing. I mean, look, I'm going to share it with you guys. I want you to tell me what you think. For my part, I don't know exactly what to make of this. Okay? I really don't. But you know what? I'm going to share it with you. You guys tell me what you think. Folks, there's stuff. I mean, there's literally things being thrown out of windows of the White House. I didn't think you could do that sort of thing, but check this out. Tell me what you think, and let's see if we can figure this out together. All right, so there's what's that? Oh, whoa. You see this? You see this right here? Something got thrown out of a third-story window at the White House. Let's go a little further with this. All right, we're focusing in. That's good. That's good. All right, a little more focus. All right, and that's what I love about the internet. Man, you give some people some time, we can start enhancing anything. Check this out. All right, it's coming into focus. What is this object that got thrown out the window? Oh, what the? Wait a minute. What? Oh, no. Do not tell me Donald Trump is throwing out a bust of Barack Obama. What? Oh, my goodness. No, that can't be what Trump's doing. That can't be. Seriously? Oh, my gosh. Well, no, wait a minute. Hold it. No, well, actually, there's a statement from the White House that just came out. A few minutes ago. No, hang on. No, this just came out in the past 5 minutes, folks. I did not think this was possible, but yeah, apparently Trump's admitting it. They did throw it out the window. Oh my God. This is going to get bad. Oh my Lord. Zippy says that would be great for skeet shooting. No, you can't do that. Zippy. That's just wrong, sir. That is just wrong. Robert, look, I don't know if Trump's going to renovate the Clintons. I don't even know if the Clintons had a sex dungeon in the White House, for heaven's sake. What in the world is the matter with some of y'all? I mean, good grief. Lana? No, we are not using the bust of Barack Obama for skeet shooting. No, we are not doing that. Oh, my word. This audience, I tell you what, you guys are bad. Oh, my goodness. Y'all are just awful. Just terrible. But yes, apparently Trump is, he's renovating in more ways than one. Jeez. WWG1 says the dungeon was the Lincoln bedroom. Now look, I don't want to. We don't know that for sure. Okay, we do not know that the Clintons had a sex dungeon and they kept it in the Lincoln bedroom. For heaven's sake! I mean, it was back in the 90s. People were more broad-minded, but I don't think Bill Clinton, on his worst day, turned the Lincoln bedroom into a sex dungeon. For heaven's sake! Oh my God. Look, Barack Obama's ears might make a good target on that for skeet shooting, but on that bust, we are not doing this. No, I love you guys. I don't want, no, we're not doing this. Be better, ladies and gentlemen. Be better. WWG1, I am not even responding to that about Monica Lewinsky's breath. Okay. No, I forget it. I'm not doing it. There are some comments from Rumble that I just will not read, and I'm not doing it, sir. Oh my word. Y'all are just awful. Just plain awful. Oh, is there an update about this? Seriously, is there an update about this, or is there something I missed? Which is altogether possible, but no, is there some kind of update about this that I have not heard about yet? Because no, I hadn't heard anything recently. Motard Squid is over on Rumble. Hello, everyone, he says. Well, hello, Motard. Glad to have you in the house. Fist bump in your general direction. Goodness me. All right. Now, getting back to a little more serious conversation here. I got a story here from the Daily Wire. And this is probably going to wind up, this and one more story is going to wind up taking up the remainder of our time together tonight. But if this is true, okay, there is no update. I have not heard anything about it, to be perfectly honest. Okay, no updates. That's okay. I misunderstood. My apologies, ladies. No, I haven't heard a thing. Not a thing. But I got a story here from the Daily Wire. And if this is true, I got all kinds of problems with this. Let me get this thing pulled up here real quick. Give me 1 second, folks. Ooh, there's a cat that got strangled. Yeah, I've got the windows open in my office tonight, and more often than not, you can suppress the noise. But yeah, if this story from the Daily Wire is correct, I got some problems with this, and I think you guys are going to understand why here in just a minute. Article written by Mary Margaret Olahan. Breaking. Trump DOJ deliberates over gun ban for transgenders. The Justice Department is, quote, actively considering a range of options to prevent mentally unstable individuals from committing acts of violence. Dateline, Washington, D.C. In the wake of the latest deadly attack on a school by a transgender identifying individual, President Donald Trump's Justice Department is considering blocking trans identifying people from buying firearms, the Daily Wire has learned. Quote, individuals within the DOJ are reviewing ways to ensure that mentally ill individuals suffering from gender dysphoria are unable to obtain firearms while they are unstable and unwell, one source inside the Justice Department told the Daily Wire. The DOJ's discussions center on the fact that those who identify as transgender suffer from gender dysphoria, a mental disorder, the DOJ source familiar with the conversation shared with the Daily Wire. Gender dysphoria describes the sense of unease that a man or woman may feel if he or she thinks that their biological sex is mismatched with their so-called gender identity. A DOJ spokesman would not comment on specific measures being considered, but said that a, quote, a range of options is on the table. Quote, under Attorney General Bondi's leadership, this Department of Justice is actively considering a range of options to prevent mentally unstable individuals from committing acts of violence, especially at schools, the spokesman said. All right, let's talk about this. Folks, I got a serious problem with this. I got a very serious problem with this. Now, I can just hear some of y'all out there right now, not necessarily folks immediately in our chat, but some of y'all out there on social media who are going to hear this and they're going to say, well, what do you mean? The transgenders are the ones out there. They're the ones doing the shootings. Let's keep the guns away from them. Really? Okay, let's take it one step further. Let's assume for a moment that the Trump administration went ahead and did what they're proposing. Okay? That they figure out a way to withhold the sale or the possession or the ownership of firearms from people who are transgender and have gender dysphoria. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The predicate has been laid that the government can determine a reason why a sacrosanct constitutional right should be withheld from you. Let me say that again. If the government does this, if the Trump administration does this, if the DOJ goes forward with this idea, then the predicate is going to be laid to be able to deny a constitutional right from you because the government has determined you are something. Okay, now, let me back up a second here. Do not get me wrong. Do I want to see any more of these school shootings? Heck no, absolutely not. I don't want to see any kind of violence done. I don't care if it's with a gun or a machete or a switchblade or whatever. But that's not the point. The issue here, and this is something that the HHS and the CDC ought to get serious about studying, and I think they're going to wind up doing it. We need to have some serious discussions about the medications and the drugs that transgenders are taking, that in some cases, not all, but some, is creating a climate within individuals where they are taking up arms and they're killing people. WWG1 says, I see your point, Brian, but mentally ill should be treated, not given a weapon. I don't disagree with that. Absolutely, mentally ill people should be treated. But that's my point. Treat the mental illness. The issue of the guns comes off the table. What am I getting at? Here's specifically what I'm getting at. They're ignoring, if this solution is put forward, okay? If this solution is put forward, we will have ignored the root cause and we're dealing with the effect, okay? I'm not saying that the guns aren't being used in the transmission of these crimes. It's quite obvious they are. God only knows how many police reports or newspaper articles can you find where weapons are being used to kill people. I'm not disputing that. My point is this. Why can we not address the issue that's causing them to want to go out and do violence? Now, here's the other question that I have. Let's assume for a moment that this proposed solution, the banning of guns for transgendered individuals, let's assume for a moment that they were able to implement this thing. Does anybody really think, and I say this respectfully, okay, you can disagree with me if you want to, but does anybody really think that the violence being perpetrated by some members of the trans community is going to stop? Let me say that again. If this solution that the Justice Department is kicking around is put into effect, and let's just say they were able to 100% do it, does anybody really think that the violence stops? Okay. WWG1 says the root cause may be normalizing the mental illness. I will argue that's what is the root cause of this. Zippy over on Rumble says, if you're not locked up, they can't take away your guns, period, unless they're stolen or obtained via crime. That's all the rope I will give the government. Well, I'm not going to give the government any rope. Yeah, exactly. This is my problem. Everybody is dealing with the peripheral issues here. They used a gun. Okay, guess what? What stops somebody from taking an SUV, driving it in the middle of a crowd? Nothing. Why do I use that example? Because that's happened before in Wisconsin. What stops someone from using a machete to start chopping people up? Why do I use that example? Because that's happened. WWG1 says, I think the violence by the trans community may be caused by the drugs that they take. I'm with you on that point, sir. Absolutely, I'm with you on that point. Yeah, and this is a great point, too. Some of the weapons that were used by, the trans individuals who committed these crimes, they weren't even purchased by the people who committed the crimes. They were purchased by other people. They belong to family members. They belong to friends. This is a horrible idea. And I pray to God this gets squashed immediately. Look, oh, you're just a gun nut. You're out there trying to make sure. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't want the government touching my guns. But that's not the point. This attacks the symptoms. It doesn't get to the disease. And the disease in this case are individuals either taking or being on their own or being prescribed by doctors medications that, on top of their depression, mental illness, and other psychological factors, they're taking these drugs. It is putting them in such a state, and they're going out and committing violence. How about we start talking about that? Yep. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Taking away the right of self-defense, not funding training, has turned us into slaves of the state. Amen. Amen. I'm sorry. This is a horrible idea. Absolutely horrible. And I hope, look, Pam Bondi is sketchy as all get out where the Second Amendment is concerned. And if she goes forward with this, get her out. This to me, I mean, not that Donald Trump's going to come get my opinion on this matter, but I'll tell you what, if she goes after this, she's done. I got nothing, with all due respect, I got nothing for her. You're gone, lady. Zippy with another Rumble rant. Thank you very much for your generosity, sir. Taking away the right of self-defense, not funding training, has turned us into slaves. Gun-free zones are a target. Amen to that. Yeah, and here's something else. And Rhonda, I absolutely agree with you. Broken families should not be off the table. How much is that affecting what's going on with these shootings? That's a great point. Yep. It does not say the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed unless, of course, you're transgender. Oh, I agree with you. I agree. And yeah, it's bad. It's been shredded enough. It doesn't need this solution. Does not need this solution at all. Anyway, there is one piece of good news. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I'll play it for you. I think you're going to get quite the kick out of this. Are you guys familiar with the Surgeon General of the state of Florida, Joseph Ladapo? Oh man, tell you what, if any of Bobby Kennedy's team resigns anytime in the near future, this guy needs to be put into D.C. as soon as possible. And I know we're shifting gears here, but I should have done this story before I did the Daily Wire article. So my apologies to you. But for those of you who know of Joseph Delapo, the Surgeon General, here's a story that you might find very interesting, and I'll just go ahead and play it straight up. Check this out.
But what I'm most excited about is an announcement that we're making now, which is that the Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them. All of them. Every last one of them. Yeah. Yeah. Every last one of them. All of them.
So there are some good things happening out there. Well, there you go, darling. There you go. Yeah. WWG1 says vaccine mandates were always unconstitutional. Well, in some places, sir, they are indeed in the process of getting rid of them. So there you go. All right, one last story. And, you know, I think it was the great social critic H.L. Mencken who said, "You will never go broke underestimating the tastelessness of the American consumer." Well, I have a slightly modified version of that. You will never go broke, and yeah, it goes like this. You will never go broke underestimating the brainlessness of an American politician. Did you guys happen to hear Tim Kaine the other day? Now, for those of you who don't remember Tim Kaine, back in 2016, he was Hillary Clinton's vice presidential nominee. He is the, I believe, the junior senator from Virginia. And believe me, he's no prize as far as I'm concerned. But Tim Kaine did something so shocking the other day. And in one sense, it's not shocking. But in another sense, it is, as it reveals his rank stupidity. Or maybe not even stupidity. It's so shocking that he was so brazen about sharing his opinion. Now, he was in a committee hearing in Washington, D.C., and made the following statement. And if you haven't heard this, I don't know whether you're going to be shocked, mad, not surprised. I have no idea, but we'll play the clip. Folks, 35 seconds of brilliance from this guy sounds something like this.
The notion that rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the creator, that's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that bases its rule on Shia law and targets Sunnis, Baha'is, Jews, Christians, and other religious minorities. And they do it because they believe that they understand what natural rights are from their creator. So the statement that our rights do not come from our laws or our governments is extremely troubling.
It just, oh my God. Yeah, that's true. I want to play this again. Okay. I want to play this again because I want to make sure you get the full import of what he's saying. Folks, if you weren't listening close the first time, pay very close attention to what Tim Kaine is about to say here.
The notion that rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the creator, that's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that bases its rule on Shia law and targets Sunnis, Baha'is, Jews, Christians, and other religious minorities. And they do it because they believe that they understand what natural rights are from their creator. So the statement that our rights do not come from our laws or our governments is extremely troubling.
You know, as I'm listening to him, there's something that's going through my head. And how was it said? Yeah. I think I remember now. Quote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. For the preservation of these rights, governments are ordained among men." Senator Kaine, that was Thomas Jefferson from the Declaration of Independence. We have long recognized that our rights most certainly do not come from government. Because if they come from government, government can take them away. My right to life and to liberty and my pursuit of happiness, those are three unalienable rights that come from the Creator God. To the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia, you need to throw this man out as soon as you have the ability to do it. I don't know if you have the right to recall your senator in your state, but the next election, this fool needs to go. No, he's not a fool. I take that back. He's a freedom-hating communist. Zippy with a rumble rant says, okay, you can remove God from rights, but if you do natural rights, our individual will and freedom. Yeah, I mean, if you take the argument that says that rights come from government, then yeah, you've removed God already. Oh, I'm not trying to make sense out of the idiot. It's exactly what it is. He's an idiot. The worst part about it is, I mean, I call him an idiot. We call him an idiot. No, he believes this. He's not mistaken. This is what he actually believes. Is he mistaken? Yeah, he is mistaken. He didn't make a speaking error, is what I'm getting at. He didn't make a speaking error. He actually believes this nonsense. Totally ignoring 200 plus years of American tradition. Totally ignoring centuries of political thought and dialogue before that. Going all the way back to the days of Augustine and Aquinas. Yeah, honey, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. Yeah, it does make you sick to your stomach. Oh yeah, he's a nincompoop. Absolute nincompoop. Oh, it's been a while since I've watched that one, dear. But you're not wrong. You are not wrong at all. All right, let's bring this train into the station. As always, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. It's been an absolute blast hosting this show. And thank you for the memes. Thank you for the commentary. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for the seriousness. Thank you for everything. You guys are the best audience on the internet, period, hands down. So do me some favors as you're getting ready to walk off the electronic front porch. Number one, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please go ahead and do so. Number two, hit the thumbs up. Number three, leave a comment and chat. Number four, share the link around with your friends. And also, hit the bell for notifications. Let's make sure you're always aware when something new is coming out. Yes, ma'am, we're going to be here Saturday morning. We are going to be here Saturday morning. We're going to be here Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. for Front Porch Brunch. So we'll try and get some news and commentary in before the football gets started. My beloved Thundering Herd, the Marsh University Thundering Herd, is playing at 6 o'clock Saturday night. So I can do me a live stream and go to the game with the ladies. So, all right. You guys have a great rest of your Thursday night. I love you guys so much. And one last comment from WWG1. Most of morality is to perpetuate the human species. I get that. Some ascribe it to God and some ascribe it to something else. Basically, it is don't F with others if you don't want them to F with you. Good point. Good point, WWG1, and thank you as always. So, yes, we will see you guys this Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. for Front Porch Brunch. And in the meanwhile, love you guys very much. Remember the words of that great American philosopher, Tom T. Hall, when he said, it's faster horses, younger lovers, older whiskey, and more money. Have a great Thursday night. We'll see you Friday. We'll see you Saturday morning. Bye-bye.